Welcome to Electrified. It's your host, Dylan Loomis. Quick shout out to my newest patrons, Jim M, Paul W, and Laura S. Thank you for choosing to support the channel. Much is being made in the Tesla space right now when it comes to radar, all stemming from this authorization letter. So what's really going on? This is from Tesla to the FCC, dated November 18th of this year, regarding model number, and this, we'll come back to that. With this document, Tesla is requesting an extension for confidentiality of this product. And they say, this device, this model number, will not be marketed until mid-January 2023. To avoid any unnecessary disclosure and competitive harm before product launching, we would like to request the above exhibits to be held for another 60 days until February 7th, 2023. At least for right now, this model number is on track from Tesla to be launched at some point, maybe as soon as January. Doing a little bit of digging, here is that same model number from Tesla and the FCC, and it turns out it's an automotive radar. Quick backstory, last year in 2021, Tesla removed the radar and went to vision only for its autopilot and FSD suite. It was indeed a very polarizing decision at the time, and it still is honestly, but there's a lot of nuance that I need to share. So let's start right here.
Basically, you would think that these sensors are an asset to you.
Yeah.
But if you fully consider the entire product in its entirety, these sensors are actually potentially a liability because these sensors aren't free. They don't just appear on your car. Suddenly you need to have an entire supply chain. You have people procuring it. There can be problems with them. They may need replacement. They are part of the manufacturing process. They can hold back the line in production. You need to source them. You need to maintain them. You have to have teams that write the firmware, all of it. And then you also have to incorporate them, fuse them into the system in some way. And so it actually like bloats a lot of it. And I think Elon is really good at simplify. Best part is no part. Mm-hmm. And he always tries to throw away things that are not essential because he understands the entropy in organizations and an approach. And I think in this case, the cost is high and you're not potentially seeing it if you're just a computer vision engineer. And I'm just trying to improve my network and, is it more useful or less useful? How useful is it? And the thing is, if once you consider the full cost of a sensor, it actually is potentially a liability, and you need to be really sure that it's giving you extremely useful information. In this case, we looked at using it or not using it, and the delta was not massive, and so it's not useful.
Key point, you have to be really sure that the data you're getting from the sensors, whether it's the ultrasonic sensors or the radar, is very useful. You may recall back in June of this year, Tesla registered a new high-definition radar with the FCC, model number, the exact same one we're talking about today. Let's run through a quick timeline of what Elon has said about radar over the last few years. June 2016, radar tunes out what looks like an overhead road sign to avoid false braking events, so there is some connection to phantom braking and having a radar. July 2016, good thing about radar is that unlike LiDAR, which is visible wavelength, it can see through rain, snow, fog, and dust. More benefits of having a radar. On the same day, he said, our radar uses a wavelength of 3.9 millimeters, a good size for both decent resolution and rain penetration. He's hopeful, so at this point, not really sure. November 2018, long term, the car will work purely on vision with radar just a plus, but maybe worth adding a radar heater anyway. April 2021, sensors are a bit stream and cameras have several orders of magnitude more bits per second than radar or LiDAR. Radar must meaningfully increase the signal to noise of bitstream to be worth the complexity of integrating it. As vision processing gets better, it just leaves radar far behind. There is a difference between regular radar and high definition radar. Elon and Tesla have not really changed. Clearly, all the way up to this point, regular radar has been wishy-washy, can add some benefits, but not really good enough, whereas HD radar has always been what they've been looking for. July 31st, 2021, the regular radar was holding us back. Pure vision, especially when using explicit photon count, is much better than radar plus vision, as the latter, radar plus vision, has too much ambiguity. When radar and vision disagree, it's not clear which one to believe. So pretty much the whole time, regular radar, the signal to noise ratio just hasn't been good enough for what Tesla has wanted. In February 2022, only very high resolution radar is relevant. Some people posed the fair question, well, could this be for the in cabin radar, meaning inside the vehicle, the one that basically detects humans or dogs in the car and any motion inside of the vehicle. Because as you can see from this declarations of conformity from Tesla, down here we have an in-cabin radar with the model number 1616631, different than the model number we're talking about right now. This 161 model number is a millimeter wave radar sensor. And here's an image of this sensor 161 model number. So here are the questions. Could this be for a new suite of FSD hardware to pair with the new upcoming Tesla FSD computer hardware 4? Would this new high definition radar just be for the Tesla Semi and the Cybertruck, or is this going to make its way into the sexy lineup as well? We've been hearing a lot over the past few weeks that the new cameras with this new FSD suite, again with hardware 4, will have higher resolution 5 megapixel cameras. We've been hearing that hardware 4 has been in testing and possibly already in some vehicles on the road, and we know that Cybertruck is supposed to indeed have hardware 4 as well. It should be clear that no one so far has said hardware 3 will not support FSD, so when it comes to retrofits and all of that, let's just slow down and take it 1 week at a time. Could this new HD radar have something to do with the camouflage Model 3s we've been seeing and the potential for new camera placements, aka a new FSD suite? It's certainly possible. So, using all of that context, in summary, my best guess, this new HD radar that may be marketed and launched in Q1 would indeed be for external full self-driving features to add some redundancy, better vision in snow, fog, and the elements, maybe a better method to deal with the phantom braking problems. And it would just indicate very simply that Tesla has finally found a solution, whether one that they developed or one from a third party, that's high definition enough to have that signal to noise ratio where they need it to go through all of the trouble and complexity of actually integrating it into the FSD suite. And I would just caution anybody out there who's feeling the need to say, I told you so, Elon has no idea what he's talking about. We still don't know for sure how this will be implemented. Again, could it just be for the Semi and the Cybertruck? Maybe nothing changes with the sexy lineup. Right now, we just don't know. I would much rather invest in a company where the leader can make changes and admit when they're wrong rather than stick in their pride and as new information, new data, new technology becomes available to not use it just so Elon can say, hey, I've been right. I don't think he would do that. Quick life lesson, the ability to change your mind and admit you were wrong if the data and the facts warrant that is actually a superpower. All right, after all of that, let's take a quick 20 seconds and relax and watch some images of the Tesla solar roof. Great tweet from Gary Black. The dumbest argument I have with the Tesla bears is what the 2023 PE for Tesla should trade at if future growth slows to 30% from 50%. Tesla Q says Toyota trades at 10 times 2023 earnings per share and the S&P trades at 18 times. Toyota is shrinking and the S&P 500 long-term growth is 7%. So even if Tesla did drop down to 30% long-term growth, Tesla still warrants a 40 times plus PE ratio. Just for some context, if you throw in an earnings per share of $7 for 2023, that would give Tesla a forward PE right now of 25, and Gary Black saying it should be at least 40 based on that argument. I still think this is all being blown way out of proportion. All of these incentives are really only a few $100s. It's not like we're talking about $5,000 or $10,000 incentives and Tesla is begging people to take their cars. This one also is just for inventory vehicles, so it doesn't even apply to new vehicles, but they're offering an additional $860 on top of that $573 insurance subsidy that's just available for the rest of this month, again for inventory vehicles. Ray for Tesla gave us some nice context already, saying after that new discount went around yesterday, existing inventory has been sold out. A small number of inventory vehicles may be available today. Sounds like mission accomplished. And for now, it's just a rumor, but some of the new energy vehicle subsidies may be extended into 2023 rather than expiring at the end of this month. Don't get it confused though, there are both purchase subsidies and a purchase tax exemption. So the purchase subsidies are set to expire again at the end of this month, while the purchase tax exemptions are already extended until the end of 2023. So the word is, if the purchase subsidies are actually extended, the ones that actually reduce the price for the consumer, those would only be 50% of the amount that they were in 2022. But again, not official as of now. We get another quick update on some potential changes to the Inflation Reduction Act. Companies like Rivian and Hyundai are now asking for consumer vehicle leasing to actually qualify for some EV tax credits. But they're actually asking to use some of the tax credits set aside for the commercial EV tax credit, and companies like Tesla have been saying no, commercial credits should only go to end users that are actually business owners. The South Korean government is also pushing for the IRA to include rental cars, leased vehicles, and vehicles bought for use in Uber, Lyft, and other rideshare companies. And last week, Joe Biden did say there are tweaks that we can make that can fundamentally make it easier for European countries to participate. Quick update for the holiday software release. We're talking Apple Music, improved music player you can move around and customize, MyQ garage support, remote light show scheduling and remote emissions mode, new games, and a lot more that they can't share yet. VW is set to invest $482 million to build its new compact ID.3 in Wolfsburg. Output at this plant used to be around 800,000 units per year back around 2015. Fast forward to today, and it's basically running at about half capacity. VW's brand chief said the car maker was still facing flat-out chaos on the supply side as suppliers cancel major orders on one night's notice. Timeline for this ID.3 production is expected to start in 2023, and then they'll go through the ramp in 24 and 25. Could you imagine if Giga Shanghai or Fremont were operating at 50% capacity? The media headlines would be absolute chaos. The VW brand chief also said chips were selling with an up to 800% price surcharge, saying it's a catastrophe for the business. These are absurd sums. An auto analyst said VW is experiencing a shift in power from a buyer's market to one where it was increasingly a smaller and less powerful customer for suppliers in newly important areas like software. Speaking of, after about 2 years of the launch, it looks like customers in the United States and Canada will be set to receive an OTA update from VW sometime in the next few weeks. VW did confirm with Drive Tesla Canada that owners would be formally notified of these OTA updates either through paper mail or email if available. I found this image was shared on Reddit. I'll be honest, at this point I do not know what to make of this, although this does indeed seem like a very different, at least top part of the Semi. So if any of you have any intel, please let me know below. I'll stay tuned and see what I can find. Tasha hit the nail on the head with this one. She said not surprised about the delay from Apple and their self-driving ventures. If the plan now is to wait until 2026 to have highway-only autonomy, the entire project should be scrapped. Agreed. I won't dive into this one today, but I wanted to share it. It's a great article to bookmark and save or text to yourself to share with other people, going over all of the misconceptions about EVs, whether they're better or worse for the environment. I think most of us have already been down this rabbit hole, but in the future, if we have a slower news day, I will come back to this, but it will be linked below. For good measure, you can pair it with this study done by Yale's School of Environment, also below. This will be an interesting one to watch. It looks like China is trying to relax some of the zero COVID policy controls. However, when they do that, most likely infections will go up. And the reason this is happening, there are many reasons, but obviously the protests give the government a good turning point to finally try to do it. But economically, I think the leaders are now realizing that the zero COVID policy is really damaging the Chinese economy. Exports are falling. Apple is saying it may take its manufacturing of iPhones somewhere else. Basically, they're sleeping in the bed that they've made. For our purposes right now, we'll just monitor this closely going forward, because is this political speak just to earn points, or are they really going to try to do this and open up the economy again? We'll see. Lastly, for this one, I'm not really going to dive into this yet. I mean, come on, guys. This is that same company, Ping West, that literally was just ordered to apologize for posting fake news about Tesla, calling Giga Shanghai a sweatshop, and they had to pay, I think it was $14,000 for what they misreported about Tesla. Now they're coming out and saying this. Forgive me, but I have no confidence in this report. I will say though, for what it's worth, they're saying that Tom Zhu, who's basically been the head of Tesla China, is now going to be appointed as the global CEO, basically overseeing automotive. So right now, we're not sure if there's something getting lost in translation, and some people are saying, well, Tom Zhu's now going to be the CEO of all of Tesla, or is he just going to oversee global automotive as a slight promotion? We just don't know right now, and again, this could all be totally fake. And we just reported last week on that Tesla lawsuit against this same company, Ping West, that yes, Tesla actually won. So yeah, for now, personally, I'm not buying into it. Although, I would love to dive in more to Tom Zhu because Elon has praised him publicly on a few occasions and he's done awesome work clearly with Giga Shanghai, but it's too soon. That'll do it for today. Hope you all have a wonderful day. Please like the video if you did, and a huge thank you to all of my Patreon supporters.